How do you do this again? All right. You've probably seen the building right there on the Highway 59 feeder road just west of Greenbrier. You can't miss the giant sphinx head on the roof. You may have wondered what that building is or was. I can help you with that. It is no more, but what it was the coolest place Houston, Texas has ever seen. Or at least it was the coolest place I've ever seen in Houston, Texas, and I've seen just about all the places. In the spring of 1984, I received a card in the mail. It was a mass mailer, but it was from popular local TV anchorman Ron Stone. And anything from Ron Stone had to be cool. This was. It was an invitation to become a founding member of what was promised to be the ultimate Houston night spot, a place called Magic Island. For the low price of $500, I'd be guaranteed entrance on opening night, a special reservation line for dinners, magic shows, and whatever else the place hosted, and a chance to mingle with Houston's social elite. Sold! The place opened up a few months later, and it was unlike anywhere I'd ever been. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that a whole lot of what you see in Las Vegas now was inspired by Magic Island. It was that awesome. From the moment the valet took your car, you were mesmerized. The front door was gigantic, and the mystery. You knew it was a door. You could tell by the ornate sculptures on it, but you couldn't see how to open it. Yikes. It didn't matter. There were always several attendants to open the door, take your coat, guide you inside. You were treated like an Egyptian king or queen at all times. There were hallways with statues on them, secret doors, and magic memorabilia in every nook and cranny. The front was an open lobby with tables all around, bars on every side of the room, and fortune tellers, card trick artists, and other entertainers, either stationed at a table or working the room and making sure to engage each and every guest. There was a dining room, but most important were the theaters. There were 3 of them, one each at small, medium, and large. Thursday through Sunday, the large auditorium featured nationally known magicians and other types of entertainers like comedians, jugglers who were also comedians. The first time I got hypnotized was at Magic Island. Sam Vine, the hip hypnotist, was the featured act in the large theater. I took a date, and my parents joined us. When Sam called for volunteers, I eagerly went on stage. The hopeful participants had to pass some tests, and you couldn't fake it. One test was to complete a trust fall, which is when you stand up, close your eyes, and tilt backwards until you fall over. There's someone behind you to catch you, but unless you are very relaxed and very trusting of the stranger standing behind you, you'll step out of it before you actually fall. If you passed that test, then you were seated in a chair and closed your eyes while Sam went through a few scenarios. He tells you you're cold, you need to wrap your arms around your body. He tells you that something funny happened, you have to genuinely laugh. But for the final test, you had to put your head down with your eyes closed, rest your hands on your lap, and then, on his command, let your hands drop to your side. Again, you really have to be relaxed to do it. I did it. Properly hypnotized, the skits began. Here's something about hypnotism. It's like dreams. If you sleep very deeply, you won't remember your dreams. But if you sleep lightly, you remember what you dreamed. Hypnotism is the same way, but almost everyone goes in a hypnotic state similar to a deep sleep. Not me. I was the equivalent of a light sleeper, which means I remembered pretty much everything I did on stage. People asked me if I was really hypnotized. I was. Even though I remembered everything I did, at no time did it ever cross my mind to refuse a command. The most memorable skit I was in involved me and 2 other guys who were told we were female strippers performing at a strip club. Each guy had his turn while Sam's 2-piece band played the stripper song, which at that time was not Pour Some Sugar on Me. I'm sure Magic Island had a dress code, but it didn't matter to me. There was no way I was ever going into such an opulent place in anything less than a suit and tie, and that's what I was wearing as I was given my instructions. My stripper name was Blaze. And when Sam called Blaze to the stage, I was more than ready. The first thing I did was take off my suit jacket, which I twirled around my head. I distinctly remember telling myself to not throw my jacket into the crowd as my wallet was in one of the pockets. So I set it down on the stage and continued. Next off was my tie, and I absolutely did every nasty thing that you can do with a tie. After that, off came my shirt, and then I took off my belt. All that was left was my pants. I also distinctly... It's all right. Hold her hand. You'll get through this. I also distinctly remember thinking to myself that he hadn't told me to stop, and there was nothing left but my pants. So the pants are coming off. I unbuttoned them and started on the zipper, and that's when Sam stopped the show. Now consider this. Sam had made it very clear that he couldn't make someone do something under hypnosis that they wouldn't do in real life. If there was no way you'd sing in public, he couldn't make you sing in public while under hypnosis. Clearly, the line of things I wouldn't do did not include taking off my pants in front of my parents and about 200 strangers. No, I'd have done that. In fact, I almost did. Now, many prominent Houstonians came to Magic Island. One night in the main theater, I found myself seated behind Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. There was something I had to ask him. ZZ Top was giant at the time. This is when they ruled MTV with a series of music videos that featured three beautiful women who always helped some sad sack guy win over his girlfriend, while Billy, Dusty, and Frank hung out by their cool hot rod. The brunette in their videos was Gianna Tomasino. And I was infatuated with her. So I politely got Billy's attention. He turned around, figuring I was going to ask for an autograph. I didn't want an autograph. I wanted to meet Miss Tomasino. I asked Billy if he would introduce me to her. He paused, looked me over for what seemed like 5 minutes, and then said in that deep Texas growl of his, "Son, you couldn't handle her." I'm sure he was right. Magic Island's heyday was from 1984 to about 1987. I went quite often and never had anything less than an incredible time. Stories float around these days about it maybe being reopened, but as a poker house or something other than what it was built to be. Maybe so, but if there's ever a chance to recreate what it was when it opened, you would not be able to keep me away. And I promise that no matter what, I won't take off my pants. So maybe I do know where that line is now.